Hello and welcome back, Science Aficionados. I'm your host, Dr. Puddin, and this is Automotive Science.
Automotive Science. It's science about automotive.
Today's lesson is titled The Breezification Principle, which is heavily based on aerodynamicalisms. Here at Automotive Science, we like to explain things with science. So let's take a look at this scientifically. Most folks don't know my PhD is actually in thermomechanical aerology, thus making me an expert on this specific case and study. Today we explore a critical component in vehicular temperature moderation, the rotational wind inducer, more commonly known to amateurs as the fan. Now, as the engine has a bunch of internal explosions going on, aka combustion, it generates what us professionals call heat. And too much heat, and we're in a melty situation. This is where a fan enters the equation. The fan operates by converting circular energy into air suckification, mainly oxygenoids, and it aggressively persuades them through our cooling device, the radiator. Without proper cooling capacity, the engine will simply cook itself like a Thanksgiving turkey. Contrary to popular belief, a fan usually is not adequate for proper cooling. No, we need a shroud, aka an aerodynamic air funnelizer. As you can see, we do not have a shroud, so if this was to spin, we would have a case of air laziness. A lot of the air would just move around, really doing nothing. But if we were to add a fan shroud, the airflow would be hyper-directionalized, thus the breezification principle will increase pulling air through the radiator, increasing our coolingness efficiency by 4,000% minimum. It is my professional opinion and high recommendation that this cooling setup receives a fan shroud. And that is it for this lesson. Once again, I'm your host, Professor Puddin the First, and we will see you next time on Automotive Science.
Automotive Science. It's science about automotive.
Welcome back to puddins.fab.shop. We are back on our Loadstar.
Now, I'm not a very smart man. I don't have a degree or anything. I'm not an engineer. But I do know that condensers and like radiators are going to work better with a fan shroud. This radiator on our Loadstar build, this is supposed to be for a first gen Dodge Cummins, I believe. Y'all seen me install it already. It simply drops in. We got a bolt on this side and a bolt on this side. And this came with some tabs already up top. And if you look way down low, we've got a tab right there that is open where something can drop into it. And over here we do not. That's because you got the custom bin job going on. Fine tune that baby back open. So we need to build a fan shroud. And that's all I'm focusing on right now because it's a large job. It's not only large because, one, that's a large fan. Damn, that's a big old fan. Dang, you see the size of that fan? She got about a 22-inch spread on her or so. So it's big, but we also want it removable, which we're gonna have a couple options to explore. But there's also a couple uncommon things that's specific to this build. Like the fact the fan hangs down probably 4 to 5 inches below the bottom of the radiator. So we don't want the shroud to just stop down there and then that create a dead space. And the fact we've got a shroud, we need a shroud that's extremely close to that gearbox. Yet I would still like it to be around the fan, but it can't hit that. It's not gonna be fun. It needs to be removable. Everything so far can be, we could take this whole front end apart. I mean, 10 minutes would go a long ways. All this stuff is built to be easily accessible and serviceable. Usually, shrouds and mechanical fans are difficult. These are usually difficult to get off, but I guess we could, our shroud probably needs to go to about, I don't know, they say about halfway on your fan blade is how much is supposed to stick out. So that would give us room to get wrench back in there. You got to basically impact those off though, to my knowledge. I just want to eyeball real quick to see if there's going to be any clearance issues. Maybe right there with our gearbox, something we got to consider. Depends on how far we drop down. If we go right to the bottom of that, we'll be fine. These boots were made for walking. That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk right over you. These Skechers were made for butt whoopings. That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these Skechers gonna whoop all over you. That song goes out to my haters. My haters who wish they could throw their leg that high. Oh, man. Oh, no, it will. Will it? Oh, I was curious if they would pull with our air box in. Our drain over here makes it a little tricky, but it'll go. Dang, first time noticing this. Now there's an off chance that I may have caused this. I don't think I did. But look how bowed up that part of the radiator is where our clip goes. It's supposed to be straight like over here. That baby's got the old whoop-de-doo and a half in her. Give me that squirrely. Give them to me. Got to keep the puppers entertained. We're gonna want to stand off. I kind of like the rule of going about an inch or so. You don't want to go too much, because the bigger you make the shroud, in my mind, the more volume. Now I'm trying to sound scientific, but I don't know I think volume's the correct. If your shroud come way back here and then that, you got to move air across all of that. You don't want it right on there laying flat, because then the air can't move. So you want something that hugs it. I think around an inch is a good rule of thumb. So we need to build a box that is 25 and hold on. Woo! See, I was caught up on something over there. 26 inches by 21 inches, and sticks off 1 inch. Aha! Oh man. If there's any time to start a new, well, this is a half sheet. It's on a big square project like this. We've got a clean edge from the factory here. We've got a clean edge from the factory here. Not so clean right there. She got a little whoopsie daisy. We do want some accuracy here, and nothing messes up a nice fresh marker like some oil on your metal. That old sweet potato Get Gone degreaser does a really good job. Use that promo code on the screen. All right, I checked our measurements. I know I told you 26. We really want 25 and 15/16. However, we're going for a 1 inch break on each side. And we've got a box pan break thingy-mabobber. I don't know the scientific name once again. But we can break, so we need to actually add 2 inches on each of our measurements. So 25 and 15/16. And the other one was that one number. Actually go to 27 and 15/16. And 20 and 7/8. So 22 and 7/8. And I'm double checking myself here because I'm really bad about having little dyslexic moments. Sometimes I'll be reading stuff bass-ackwards. 20 and 7/8, 21 and 7/8, 22 and 7/8. Woo! There's our shape, but we need to break 1 inch on each one. So to do that, we gotta cut a square inch out of each corner. So I'm gonna mark 1 inch and 1 inch, make sure we hit our marks. I'll give us one of them all the way around. Got her laid out. We gotta eliminate them squares in the corner too. Slice it. Yeah. Let's get this out of the way for now. Oh, look at all the workspace. Sorry, buddy, I ain't done yet. If I kick that grinder on, Theo leaves. He just came back. He's about to be disappointed. Sorry. Sorry, buddy. Guys, to be fair, he's the one who wandered up to a house that had a sign that clearly reads Fab Shop. I guess he chose not to read. That's his fault. What the heck? The great Houdini does it again, folks. I just cut 4 corners but found 5 squares. Magic. Breaking. We interrupt this program for a short performance by the great Houdini. For his next trick, he will simply appear out of nowhere. Get out! It is I, that great Houdini, and I have also made new merchandise appear out of nowhere. This shirt, I've already made the sleeves disappear. That's right, folks, we've got the great Houdini on a shirt. It features a flaming carburetor, one of my #1 tricks. It features a lack of teeth, like I kind of talk like this, like a dang old cracked head. It features a dang good looking shirt that some may call magical. But wait, there's more. Up next, we've got old Roy. That's right, the one we slapped together and sat down at St. Louis Salvage right there. That's the real St. Louis phone number too, by the way. Get you an old Roy shirt today. 3 new releases we've got here, folks. You know she's a gooder when she's got the stilly on the front. Catch-out right there on the back. We got puddins.fab.shop. It features the wagon, some stillies, and you can have any wheel as long as it's a stilly. That's it, folks. That's simply all the tricks I have up these sleeves. We appreciate all the support at puddins.fab.shop.com. Now back to your regular video. So there we go. Now where I cut, we're gonna have to clean up. I just like the cutoff wheel, guys, because I can get really straight lines with it. When I use my shears, it kind of warps that metal a little bit and it just bugs me. Lock her down. And we're aiming for 90. It's pretty 90, maybe a hair past. And put her back in there, clamp it down. Kind of pull on it, slap on it. Easy does her. There we go. That's a little more 90-ish. Now, if you don't have a brake and you want to do 1 inch, obviously you could just cut strips out of your metal, guys. Or if you're like me and you've got a half decent metal supply place within 30 minutes of you, an hour of you even, I gotta go about 40 minutes, I think, to mine. You can buy metal 1 inch width already, and all different types of thicknesses. If you're gonna do a build, I recommend you go buy at least 10 foot of 1 inch wide. You will use it on so many tabs, brackets, all this little type stuff on a build, and it's cheap at an actual metal supplier place. It's probably gonna cost you like 20 bucks. And then the amount of time you save from not trying to cut a bunch of straight 1 inch strips is something where you could just cut it to length, set it on there, tack it. You see what I'm saying? 1 inch wide and 2 inch wide. I use a ton of. All right, up next we want to break this side. And this is where having a missing teeth, a pot county sheet metal brake could come in handy. So I'm trying to find the sweet spot where I can remove as least amount of teeth as possible. So we gotta distribute these. We may take out one of them. We'll figure it out. I wanna kinda keep it out here in the middle where one side don't get a little more bend than the other side. All right, had to do some even gappage there, but that should be fine. Once again, aiming 90. We should hit those ends and stop pretty stinking close. And that's how we get a pan. Boy howdy. The precision, the accuracy. Thank goodness for these extra long handles I added. Here we go, there's our basic shape. 1 nice corner, 2 nice corner, 3 nice corner, 4. Yeah, she got a little whoop-de-doo. Basic sheet metal principles is you fix every whoop-de-doo with the tapper tube. Clean corner number 4. See how we did here? She's fitting a little wide down low. Let's try flipping her around, see what happens. Oh, she fits. She's fitting that away. I think we're dealing with a problem, a lack of accuracy of having a square radiator. Because I know this sucker's pretty stinking square. These radiators, they are not built with the most amount of precision all the time. I mean, that's a straight edge. We got an 1/8 inch gap over here versus that one. The goal's gonna be to get a sitting pretty uniform up top, because that's what you'll see. So we can tweak what we have to down bottom. Don't forget, that's where that radiator's whoopie-dooed up. So that right there is what's got us, that being higher on this side. I know how to fix a whoop-de-doo. From the top of that tab, top of that one, 22 1/4. From the top of this one to the top of that, 22 1/16. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Hold on. You already know I don't trust the welds on this. I ranted about that last video. So if we have to replace this in the future, we don't want our tabs crooked. We want them to sit down flush and this the bottom. So trim that off, that's fine. However, what if we could do that and that, create a stop. Easy taps here, folks. Trying to work that down. I can see it straighten it up quite a bit. 23 1/8. Maybe 23 3/16. 23 3/16. We're pretty stinking close. That's a better solution. These are within a 1/16 now, and we'll just have to live with that. These cold case, cold welds is why I'm expecting this sucker to leak one day. Either way, she is where I want it, height-wise, going off her top. Remember that 1 inch strap I was talking about? This is 1/8 inch. We're gonna cut it to that length. We're gonna drill a hole, oh, let's go 13/16 up, maybe 3/4. Overall length, 1 inch and 3/16. Overall give a damn, pretty low. It's playing clearly for this project, pretty high. Go ahead and lay out our lines, and we're gonna drill the hole first. A dab will do ya. Just trying to knock our sharp corner off. Beautiful. Tack them babies on. And my plan here, well, it was to nut cert this, but we may just do a 3-bolt since they're so easy to get to up top. That'll probably put a little less stress on that aluminium. I bet these are used to holding a plastic one. I doubt those trucks come with a metal. Everything built out of 18 gauge. Don't deburr the back, that aluminum. That's gonna act like your locking nut, okay? You tighten that nut up, it's gonna get grip. Ain't gonna go nowhere. Now we're a little tight down here on these tanks. Sheet metal. It's probably not recommended. But I think, and actually I can see it, that definitely slants in towards the bottom. And this gets tight towards the bottom. So we're gonna persuade that a little. And we're gonna fold that in past that edge just flush, taking this in a little. And it sits down in there this time. Before I had to give it a little love tap, so we're doing good. She's lining up pretty stinking good. It almost looks like we know what we're doing. Halt! A little change of plans with this little hook thing. I was planning on taking some 2 inch wide, which is the width of this, just cutting a little notch and tacking it on here. Oh, you're excited about the new design, huh? Yeah, go tell everyone in the loft. And it was just gonna sit in there. The problem is that technically could wiggle. And I just like bolts. My name's Puddin', and I like bolts. I just don't want that to be wiggling around on us. I think we're gonna cut that chunk of aluminum off where we can drill a through hole on that tab. So that'll still sit and hit this, but then we'll be able to bolt it. We'll probably weld a nut to whatever strap we use, because pulling the grill off of this is super easy. You just do it from out here, and that sucker sits right on this thing, so those will be right there. What I'm saying is there's still very easy access that away, and then we get something secure in it, not just gravity holding that down and the top locking it in. What do you think, Theo?
Sounds good.
All right, you say so. Very similar design here, but we went with the 2-inch. Told y'all, but I use that 2-inch a lot too. Through bolt, and we'll be ready for some tacking. We are gonna weld this nut. Last week at the end of the week, I put a new lens cover thing in here. I can see again, Johnny. In my experience, it's always good to clean your nuts after welding them. Clean your nut threads. You don't want to be caught with some dirty nuts. Old P-Tang dirty nuts, because he always welds them nuts and they get dirty. Oh yeah, they'll get real dirty on you, especially there on the back side. I think it's a good time to check our progress. And it does appear we're hitting the top of our gearbox, whatever that nut is that always sticks up. Right in that area, we're gonna have a little issue. Dug through the scrap cabinet, found this little piece. Eagle Eye says that's pretty stinking close. I'll mark this piece first. I'm gonna take a longer side. I smack that to kind of open her up just a hair. Little notcheroo in her. Done ate me some lunch. How's it lunchtime already, Betty Spaghetti? Huh? Oh, he likes to eat too. Clean that off. And I'm gonna just try taping a marker to the outside of this fan blade and getting us a general idea like that. Talk about scientifically advanced. Something like that right there. It really starts to put in perspective how big that fan is. We're gonna lose pert near all of our box area. It actually goes out past that edge. Next, we want to look at that right there. I'm gonna say let's go 3 5/8. We have officially made it to the not so fun part, where I've got to figure out how we can make this look half decent where I don't hate it. Seeing right at 22 3/4 there, about 22 1/2 there. We need to know a circumference. My cellular device says the circumference of something that is 22.75 is 71.47. 71 1/2. I do not have a slip roll, but I do have a 55-gallon drum. Just come to find out, these are pretty stinking close. Close enough to bend around. It's actually probably perfect down here. We're about to just cut this barrel, weld it to it. I'm gonna cut it right there on that peak where there's a nice little fancy bead roll. Make her look like one of them ones that come on the old 61, 62, 63 Ford Impalas, Biscaynes, and all them. They look like the old, people say they look like a garden hose thingy. All we need is this to wrap this beautifully. Now this ain't gonna be enough, but it's gonna get us started. We're gonna take our average of the 22 3/4 and divide that by 2. And that should give us what, 11 3/8? And we had some deflection from our marker the way we taped it. So what I'm gonna do, using our number, is I'm gonna go around here And from each edge, measure in our 11 3/8. Mark it on each side, and then connect those lines. As we go all the way around, we should start to create a kind of center focal point here. I say should because I've never done anything like this before. Don't ask me what I was measuring over here. I was obviously an inch off on that one. Told you I get stuff backwards. Right there in that focal point should be pretty close to actual center. Next, you want to run a self-tabber right through your radiator. This is exactly the length we need, which means it's too short. Next, cut us a piece of cardboard and put us a hole at the 11 3/8. This should get us a little more consistent around here with our mark. So get rid of that old one and give us a new one. It's a little more consistent. Gonna hit our notch, I see. So I've got our piece up here. I've kind of pulled on it. I can tell we can pull it to match our circle. We know this circle is pretty stinking true. This obviously is not, but we can match it as we go. I'm not convinced this is gonna stay. So I'm trying to tack it as least amount as possible, I guess. I thought it was gonna look really, really bad. Let me just say that just kicking that off, I thought it was gonna look terrible. The more I look at it right there, just like that, I don't think it looks terrible. So let's get a few tacks on it and see, because if it don't, I can live with it. It's gonna save us a metric crap ton of work. That does not look near as bad as I thought it was going to. In fact, I'm kind of happy we didn't bead roll anything. I think this being smooth and this being smooth really complements each other. Where had we done like some bead rolling and then did some in here, it may start looking, I don't know, too much, just because we got such small areas to work with. I thought I was gonna hate that, and I do not hate that. Boy, this keeps getting heavier and heavier. She's spanking me a little bit, but I'm spanking it a lot of bit. I thought that was gonna look terrible. It does not look terrible. In fact, some may say it looks pretty good in there. See something else pretty cool? With that upper radiator hose off there, you can snake that out of it. Wanna see something else not pretty cool? That piece I left hanging's hitting the gearbox. So we're gonna give that the custom work job around that. And it's still hitting it. But we might have to open up the diameter of the sucker here. Well, with that pulled, you can kind of see where it's going to hit. Basically right there, kind of where we had the notch to. So I think for now we'll kick right here by that and cut straight up. And hopefully that'll get us where we're able to do a spin test. Some good news is it does clear. Some bad news is right there only by about a 1/16. I did tighten these down, guys. When you're checking stuff like this, don't just drop her in and be like, oh, willy dilly, she gonna work. Oh no. Then you'll do something like tighten it down. Because a minute ago I had about an 1/8 inch of clearance. Our radii circumferential number should have been slightly larger for what would be approximately adequate and acceptable clearances. Hey, P-Tank, what the hell's that mean? It means we gotta take it out again. Concentrate that blade into this piece because we know eventually we're cutting that out. We don't want to dig it into that piece because we got nice straight edges on it. Sort of, kind of. We're going to take our fancy cardboard here. Run her out just a hair further. that'll pick us up some clearance. Woo! She's increased. And so has my pain, my pinky finger. Oh, piece of slag burnt through that glove. Melted it to me. It don't feel good. Now if you look in here though, you can see our old line versus our new line. That should pick us up about 1/4 inch. Now down here, right in this area, we'll wait to trim it, but I kind of marked where we were hitting the power steering line that was sticking up. So we may have to take a little out of it. And then our gearbox right there, I put this mark right here, and that's kind of where the gearbox ends. So let's say, I'm gonna go right in line with our bolt here. This way over, we need to figure out something. And then here over to this way, this area, we're gonna leave for now. So right at the bottom, we've got to cut that. And then this piece on here that wraps, we actually need 4 inch wide. So the length of this worked out about perfect. I think. We are most certainly still making this up as we go. I could be wrong. Yeah, cut us a big piece, cut our 4 inch piece, took our measuring stick and put it on. And that's how I knew we needed something like this right here to be able to add to that right there. So that marks that. Cut her down, clean her up. I think I just described all of what we've been doing this whole time. So we're gonna set this down here. I'm gonna flop it to the correct side. And I actually leaned it back and then marked it again. That way, instead of that being a straight drop down, we can do it that way for an increased angular suction flow of the circumferential rotational air movational device. So we got to tack that down low. You can see she's at an angle to increase the flow. Take our 4 incher. We'll have to get a little curvature going on in her. I messed up. I messed up because I only cut this piece 4 inches. I meant to go 1 inch bigger than our other piece. Our other piece was 3 5/8. So this should have been 4 5/8, but it's 4 inches. However, this piece down here, I sat on tacks, so it kind of picked it up about 1/4 inch. So to get that kind of down there flush, now it leaves about 1/4 inch up here or so. So I'm okay with that. We could redo this, but down low, I don't think it's gonna matter so much. So I've got this clamped where we can trace it. Trace all along in here. That's what we're doing right now. This side's just butchered to be able to help hold it like so. Because I still ain't got a dang clue what we're going to do in this area. Let's trim her out. Try to find our sweet spots here. The whole things. All I can think to do is put this in and then start giving me reference marks. I told y'all that power steering line was wanting to hit, which we may be able to try to pull on it. Some, not so much. So all I'm doing is giving us some reference marks down in there. And all I need to do is start trying to fill that sucker in. That's number one. Number two, I didn't really consider for this motor torquing. And I don't know how much it's gonna move.
Just damn dope Cummins put damn about 3,200 foot-pound torque.
I don't know how much that they're in there shaking around. We probably should have done a little more clearance than what we did, huh? Maybe. You torque it hard enough and it spins fast enough, it'll self-clearance. I know what you're thinking. Thinking, don't tell me the old redo rigster struck again. And he did. Guys, I finally decided to pull my head out of my hind end. as far as clearances go. I was so worried about setting it in the middle and making everything come in and out easy that, hello, you gotta have room for the engine to torque. I just realized it after I'd already added clearance once. Now we've done it twice. And last time I stepped out a hair and it picked it up a hair. This time I went out where now we should have at least an inch of clearance. So I had to redo this piece. Over here, it gets out past this so far that I added a small fillet piece over there. And obviously we had to redo this as well. Flap attack, go! The circle bigger, this is what to get to the power steering line even more. Slap her on, get our fan on. Boy, we got some clearance now. There we go, right at 1 inch. Maybe a hair more. So that should have been done the whole time. That's good clearance down there. And now we can kind of see. Yeah, I still don't know what we're gonna do about that. I guess hug that gearbox as close as possible with some sheet metal. Honestly, guys, this project should have been done today. But I'm just a normal guy. You know, I don't know about that. I was being kind of generous here. I'm just a dude in overalls in a shop working. And I make mistakes too. Sometimes more often than not. It ended up being more simple than I thought it was going to be because we don't have to do anything too complex. I think we just need that circle and it looks really good. But everything else that I thought was going to be the simple part has not been so simple. So I was hoping to have everything kind of locked in by the end of the day where we could just weld it up and smooth it out. But I'll be back on this thing in the morning. This thing's 6 o'clock already. Morning. Had a duty. We'll start off this morning with getting us a freshie. Wrap us a piece of tape here. I know this is silly to worry about right now, but I'd like to take a 1/4 inch off our hose. And I may have lied to y'all, not on purpose, but I ended up staying out here a little longer yesterday. And you know that radiator or Shroud was whooping me. He was whooping me bad. So I ended up enclosing that little bottom area, which just was bending up a little piece here or there. Trying a little this, trying a little that. I'll show you. Someone just got done eating his breakfast and he's ready for his morning pets. Oh, stretch it out, buddy. Much better. Just trying to create a little bit more gappage there. We had about an 1/8 inch. I like that better. I don't want to go any more because then we're going to start getting close right there. So just kind of split our differences. And if I get you a light, maybe you can see what it looks like down in there. Down under. So they're pulled up out of there. Right there's where we had notched for the power steering. Right there's where I stopped for that. I realized this piece was a little short, so we got a little filler piece there. Then this just goes up. And then this right here was wanting to, so that was hitting that nut. This was hitting one of the bolts on the gearbox. So got a little notch going on there. I know it's kind of crazy looking, but it does enclose the outer ring thingy. And it just is what we need. So if you're curious, the answer is yes. I clearly have a lot of welding up and smoothing out to do here. I know y'all have seen lots of welding, so I'm not going to show you too much. I'm going to full burn that in. However, when we go to cut this inside out, just like we can cut the tack welds from the inside and pop that ring off, because we don't really get deep penetration throughout here, we're going to lose it. Unless we want to leave a little like 3/16 lip, which I don't, because I don't want nothing disturbing my turbulence flow of the air cooling device. So we're going to have to add some welds on the outside. I'm hoping I don't hate them. I'll show you what I did though. I took our other little, precise instrument. That's a good word for it. And with no measuring, I put us a mark on there. Now this first one is right at 1 inch. And then from that, I just went down whatever this random amount was. I've already marked that way, but you can see I'm starting right here on the top. So I got us a mark and a mark. Then what I'm doing is rolling that down until that hits. Then I give us a mark at that mark and then shift her down. 1 inch mark again, and we roll. We're rolling. Mark it. And that's gonna give us even spacing and areas to weld all the way around. I had every intention of putting us some nice little TIG welds on there, except this Everlast now, which y'all know I gotta work on it every dang time I use it. She ain't flowing no gas. She's showing gas is flowing, but we ain't getting none. I'm about ready to chunk this damn thing in the trash where it belongs. Woosah! Woosah! I just want y'all to know that it's taking everything in my power right now to not throw that thing outside and just blast it with the mud Sadies. Part of me is like, don't do it. Someone could use this, but I wouldn't wish this dang thing on my worst nightmare, or on my worst enemy. This thing is my worst nightmare. If you get the opportunity to buy you an Everlast Power TIG 200 DV with the LGBT converter technology, just punch yourself in the pecker. It'll sting less. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to do a little Pot County TIG. So preheat in that area. You'll actually see it cook out the oil out of the metal. Then I've got our heat cranked up pretty good. She's set for around probably like, I don't know, if there was a 12 gauge. And I know I don't worry about TIG welding a lot of stuff, but I really wanted to TIG weld this. And I've tried and tried to let it go, but I just cannot get over how much I despise that damn green machine over there. At the end of the day, this will work. Once again, we're not building a show rig. Well, this is all cleaned up. And we get some black paint on that right there. It'll look just fine for underneath the hood of this. Crank your heat up. Give her a little preheat. You'll get a good looking weld. We got to cut her out. Last cut. She's free. Next we'll take the flap attack and clean up to these edges. I'll tell you, we just shed some weight, and I was nervous that when we cut that out, this thing may try to badongadong, and it does not look like it did. I didn't see it move a hair actually. So I think we're doing pretty good. That's good. That cut now there not flopping just brought me some joy. Some much needed joy. Here you go, clean up. Woo, woo! Zippity doo dah, zippity day. I can't do no more on this thing. I am maxed out. I cut that out, half smooth it out. We're gonna call this good for now. It's pretty crazy that this is about the most simple you could do. I'm gonna have to grind down that one corner just because I did that one. But this is about as simple as a fan shroud we could have done. With our box brake, we made a box and we made a ring. Now, of course, there's a couple variables that played into it, but I've got a ton of time in this thing, and I don't know. It should function good. That's what matters. It encloses our radiator, and now every bit of the air that fan's gonna move is gonna be directed through that. So it should perform, you know, hopefully it performs. After all this, damn you better perform. You don't perform, we'll paint you green. Theo's gonna join us for the grand finale here.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm lost. I'm just curious to see how well this reinstalls now that we got her all welded out, trimmed out. It's really solid. There's a lot of breaks and bends and different shapes going on. Boom. That clicked down into place. Oh, those line right up. Now you can see why we wanted to leave that little lip where it still hugs this. Look at our holes though. Beautiful. Boom, with that nut welded, we can even get to these. I told you, real easy down here. We're clearing that gearbox. She is in for the final mock-up time. Fans on. Oh, this is a good little victory right now. I needed to see it like this. Oh, this looks really good. Shoot, everything looks good. It took a day and a half, but dang it, we did it. We did it. Now, usually this is where I'd be like over here dancing and stuff. And right now, I'm just still doing good enough to get the baseball bat and go play pinata with that old welding machine, okay? I ain't forgot you over there in the corner. You're gonna be lucky to make it through the end of this episode. Yeah, all right. I need to go get some poster board. I need to take some merchandise to the post office. We appreciate all the support. Let's roll, Theo. Shoo! I'm worthless now. As far as major, like something that could be a real challenge, guys. The last major thing that I can think of, we just finished with that radiator. I'm having sheet metal syndrome. Just having my wife check my temperature. It's a little, yeah. So there's a few side effects or symptoms you can tell from sheet metal syndrome. And it's basically when you're doing work that you're not happy with and it kind of whoops you. And I've been experiencing that the last 2 days. So what I think we should do next is definitely just some more sheet metal stuff because that makes sense. That's right. More stinking sheet metal. That's why I got poster board. We're going to do this out of poster board instead of metal in case we do mess up here. And I have a couple things I just don't like. I have never liked seeing the top of radiators. In fact, we got Edna right here. Now Gertrude has a little fan shroud up top. Radiator cover, I should say. You can see we got one underneath here. I bead rolled it and kicked it up where it matches this kick up. And those bead rolls match these, which are our factory. There's an air breather box on this old girl. I just don't like seeing the top of radiators. The Loadstar is part near worse because it has those big obnoxious tabs on top, which are nice for holding on our shroud, but not so nice for looking over here and thinking, hey, that looks good. Also, these corners got two things working against them. One, this piece. I think it's because this and this don't look good. This is too long. These are different angles. We could match that and then cut this and cut our tab underneath there. But once that was cut, then you'd see the cut tab underneath there and that wouldn't look good. I guess at that point we could then enclose the end of this with aluminum, weld it up. But then you'd need a TIG welder that actually flowed gas. Oh, you didn't think I forgot, did you? I pert near did. The hell I did. So I don't really like how these look or seeing them. And believe it or not, I'm not a huge fan of the dimple die right there. Now I'm glad we enclosed this in. I just think with our inset firewall, not incest, with the old incest firewall, that then we got smooth sheet metal. Then over there we got 1/2-inch bead rolls on it. Then up here we've got dimple dies to bead rolls to different style of bead rolls. I feel like we got too much going on. I feel like this looks good and that looks good. And they both look like their own thing. But then the dimple die kind of stands out. So anything we build should end up exactly like the other stuff, which is we're going to want it to be easily mounted, easily removable. And really, I'm just kind of trying to hide some tabs I'm not happy with. We got some holes here, and I have these. We could almost utilize that position right there. So we're going to just start playing with some poster board, which is how you do most sheet metal stuff. All you need is some poster board and some I don't give a damn, and you're off to a solid start. Go to 1 inch, then we're going to break back, and let's go, oh, I like 7. Let's do a small break on that. Let's go 8 1/4. I wish sheet metal cut that fast and easy. I needed 31 1/4. She's only 28, coming up a few inches short. Story of my life. So we gave her the extendo kit. You can break cardboard, poster board, whatever. So let's break it. That's about what we're after.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Man, 31 1/4 is the width of this, if you're wondering where I got that number from. So I kind of got that in place and I shoved on her cap. Forgot to show you. You just want to hit her with some pressure and give her the old dirty finger. Then I'm going to eyeball center. Then I'm going to use this thingy to give us a little mark out here. And this is the point of doing the poster board. For a little off, a lot easier to modify our little arts and crafts project here than it is to keep doing metal. See, I did the fan shroud out of metal because that's a one and done. Okay, if that wouldn't have worked, I was gonna burn the sucker to the damn ground. R.I.P. Wilma, she's about to be roasted.
As to not bore you,
I'm trying to make this quick, well, as quick as I can. The problem with poster board is it's only so rigid. So I just kind of used that one to give us an idea and to help be able to find exactly where we need center for this hole. One, this lip was enough, but it wouldn't be enough to actually put a hole in there where we needed. So I'm adding about I added 3/4 of an inch here. And then with that big old hole, it gave me plenty of room to actually like lay that bent over where it needed to be. And then I could eyeball and give us a mark where each center line needed to be. And then when I laid that out on our actual metal here, I was able to give us a mark, we square that up. In theory, that should be our where we need for our radiator. And 3 inches is really too big. I'm gonna mark us out 2 1/4. I think we're gonna need about 2 3/8. From there, I just kind of skipped over. Ends up that's about 1 1/4 inches. So then over here from our end, I come over 1 1/4 inches. Or we could come over from this break to that mark and then match it that way. Let's do that. 3 11/16. So then we'll come over 3 11/16. So this will be a break. This will be a break. So it'd give us within this area for bead rolling. Here we go. Come on, sweet mama, be good to me. Nothing too crazy. Oh, that didn't feel good. I'm having a hard time keeping this unit straight. Should put my glasses on. My eyeballs ain't working. Help! Back to start. Woo! I didn't do as bad as I thought. I thought that top one was gonna be like, woohoo! Did kind of miss our start stop right there. I did overlap some, but I also put that on the part that should be forward underneath that because I know I'm not the greatest at hitting that. You know you're bad at something, do your best to hide it. Next, instead of doing one hard break, I'm gonna give us a slight jog on that 3/4 of an inch I added. And then we'll go to our line and break a hair more. And she's gonna need more on each one. But that way we don't have just one hard 90. I almost thought about cutting. Round 2, victory. I should have known after the shroud to just put the sheet metal down and back way slowly, but here we are. I'm not a quitter. I've kind of worked these bends a couple times. This lip on this, I didn't realize kind of broke 90 so much. So we can either cut this lip off, which then the top of it's not gonna look very good. Or when I set that on the outside, it does sit pretty good. Now we are hitting the tabs underneath here. This is kind of tweaked, so this side's hitting, this side's not. but you can see it would go down and sit good. This thing has some nice curve into it though. So we've got about a 1/4 inch gap, 1/4 inch gap. Ideally, I'd like to trace that and then drop this sucker down. However, them damn tabs are not gonna allow that, are they? I mean, we ain't got no drop there. Flatten that back out of here and try again. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. No one got very far like that. These are too high. I probably should just cut them off because that's starting to bend our metal and I don't want that. There's just, I mean, we can grind down on that and gain a little bit. Even that little bit right there, that just drops down so much nicer. This ain't trying to sit all crazy no more. It's not teeter-tottering off them tabs. I'll be able to get the cap on and off. We just can't do it with those tabs and the cover. We can have one or the other. Yeah, I shouldn't have hammered that. It's all right. We cut that tab and tap it back this way. It's gonna be fine. That bottom's got to kind of drop in, so we can't just, I thought about we could lay a piece of aluminum here and down into there. And we may be able to. That'll be something we need to experiment with this out of here. Wait till I find my glasses. I bet we cut them tabs. Y'all just thought we were done with that radiator and shroud. They gone. Is that all dented up now? Sure is. Am I a dummy for hammering that over? Sure am. Did I ever claim to be smart? Sure didn't. We will pull that to this with some tape, knowing, guys, that obviously we can figure out another mounting tab up here. We'll be able to figure out something. Now, if we do have to replace the radiator, will it be fun to have to add a couple things? Not the funnest, but is it gonna be a huge deal? No, it's not. Just kind of is what it is. Boy, look at the sit down we got now. That's what we're after. We're gonna do these one side at a time. When I get our gaps matching here, this side looks higher to me. Right now we're reading 1/2 degree off. Looks real wonky if I get it zeroed. We are on a piece of kind of twisted sheet metal going off a crooked and bent crossbar. So pudding, what's that mean? That means this is one of them situations where we should probably just split all differences until everything looks good by eye, because if we get measurements matching on one side versus the other or something, or like something perfectly level, well, it ain't gonna look good because this ain't perfectly level. If we get something perfectly straight, it ain't gonna look good because this ain't perfectly straight. I did set us a piece of wood in here to create a gap though. Oh yeah, watch me insert that nut. How you doing, man? P-Tang, professional nut inserter. So the other rational thing to do would be not mount it off this crooked crossbar, but here we are. Now this would be going better if I was a sheet metal guy, but I am not a sheet metal guy. So until I am, we're just gonna have to keep firing from the hip, baby. Sprinkle in a little bit of I don't give damn. Sometimes I give too much damn, which is why here we are. Here we are. Me, I don't give a damn. Also me. Let me create a lot more work because I don't like seeing 2 tabs stick up. Hey, that puddin' built a really cool Loadstar, but when he had the hood pop, did you see them 2 tabs sticking up on top of the radiator? I don't think, I don't know. I don't know what that old puddin' was thinking, leaving them 2 tabs where you could see them. I mean, I was gonna say that was a cool Loadstar, but then I seen them 2 tabs. I think that's what 99% of people would say. And by that, I'm making fun of the fact that hardly anyone, no one, would even care that I had 2 tabs. But they call me old P-Tang, not 2-tab Timmy.
Shoot.
All right. Well, that idea kind of worked out. Tightens down good. Hit our hole pretty true in center. We will have a drain to worry about. Overflow, whatever you want to call it. Sat here and played with our poster board. This is pretty good. I added us a lip to break to come off that lip. And with this being angled of the dangled and being mounted out here, my plan is to put a couple bolts out here. And I think that's gonna stabilize this enough. Time will tell. What are we gonna do at the front? Have not figured that part out yet. Three-quarter inch back from there, and in the middle of this is an inch, or this is 1.5 inches, so 3/4 inch to the middle. If you're paying attention, you notice two things. One, I did not bead roll this. I was afraid doing that many radiuses. One, it's gonna warp some. That didn't worry me as much as just my, it not turning out good. This is such a small piece, I don't think it has to be rolled. And then two, I went ahead and threw some tape on the front and just a shape there, and just kind of predicted we could maybe bend that over and make it match. Get us a hole where we can cleco, where we can consistently go back to the same spot. Then we'll use our little flangers and grinders and whatever else to make this fit. And we're getting pretty close right in there. We're almost gonna have to put a bend across this. Now we don't have to do a hard one with the break, because I don't want that to have a hard break across there. So that's something where we can probably just do a little, even create a little bit of a curve on that piece. Well, it did not need that. What it actually needs is to just shift that way a hair. Booped our cleco just a hair, ground our edges, and now I can find these sweet spots where it all matches. She's ready for attacking. Going live. How's that for a match up? Even up in here, really, really good. And I always tell y'all it's a great sign when the template that worked on one side works on the other. It means you may have done something half-ass right. Was that a little zesty? Boy, I just had that little thing of flopping, didn't I? Sorry, that come out of nowhere. Y'all see the fit up we got going on here?
She good.
We're home stretch now, baby. I'd traced the top of that grill bar, so you can see I've dropped about, I don't know, 1/4 to 5/16 of an inch below it. And we're gonna trim down all this extra. I don't want no extra, especially since these bolts go in here that hold on that. Then we'll have to be passing through a bunch and clamping, and then that's gonna lead to some stomping and cussing and throwing, and better not trying to quit. You no good son of a... I look like I'm playing the cello. Most of y'all did not know I was classically trained. This right here is an A sharp. A sharp edge that I'm doling out. I just realized I'd put a line above where the bolt was, so I would know where the bolt goes, like there wasn't a nutsolt right there. Oh yeah, that felt like a good nutsolt there. Put this back on where we can get a quick look at this. Boy, I wonder what a dimple die would do to this. It would flare it back far enough, and with this dimple die may work. I'm afraid shoving that though, that It creases that in a not so good way. I was actually gonna try the dimple die, except one problem. I don't have 2 1/4. Mine go 2 inch to 2 1/2 inch. How's she look, folks? Oh, that looks so much better than seeing them tabs, seeing these brackets. See what I mean? Even just this being smooth kind of matches this being smooth now. Once the hood's on, if you look close, you'll see this little detail that matches this little detail. Maybe you think I'm overthinking it, but for the afternoon we just spent, I like this so much more. This little area on each side has just been killing me. Now she looks slick willy. Oh yeah, I told y'all that would be plenty rigid. If she does move or vibrate a little bit, it ain't gonna be enough. I mean, I can get my fingertips between this and the top of that radiator. So now we gotta figure out some new mounts down there, no big deal. We'll obviously make them easy to get to. And the serviceability is still easy, guys. Now we just got bolt, bolt. Yes! Woo-hoo! Woo! 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 Still got them mounts to do. But seeing it, the more I look, the more I like. The more I like, the more I excite. The more I excite, the more I get hot. Don't act like you weren't impressed. You don't think I can kick very high in my overalls, huh? Calling me out. Hey, speaking of hype, if you can hit that hype button, like, share, subscribe, challenge, comment down below. I'm hoping for more comments than ever. This just come out of nowhere. If I kick this cup, you gotta comment. Oh shoot, that'd be way too easy. I don't want things to be unfair. As high as it'll go. Dun dun dun. Woo! Now we got a challenge on our hands, boys. How tall is that? About as tall as Mortsky's Shroud. So let's just say Mortsky's standing here. I'm like, hey, what do you think about the Loadstar? And he said, what do you mean? See, because Mortsky's my friend, I didn't really actually want to kick him in the face. I made sure the tip of that sketcher just tickled that nose where he knew I meant business, and he best not ought to be shrugging at me once again. However, let's say it's a stranger. Ooh, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't like my Loadstar? Let that be a lesson to all. If you do not like Wilma and you feel the need to possibly tell me. So I decided to come out here this morning like a sensible, rational adult who has logic and troubleshooting abilities. Yesterday, I was getting gas at first, but by the end I wasn't getting gas, but I couldn't get the metal to weld. Well, I started so to change this from AC to DC, you simply push a button. Now with this machine, it does not auto detect, so you gotta swap your leads. So I'd swapped the leads and it was acting like it had bad connections, so I was kind of twisting on these things. So I went, well, if I was getting gas and I wasn't, and all I did was swap leads and mess with them, I bet I tore up something in there. So I took this apart, and sure enough I did. There's a little split in there and our gas was coming out in this connection. So I repaired that and I was like, hey, I bet we'll be able to weld now. And I tried to weld sheet metal, and in fact, the only time I could get it to half carry a puddle is when I swapped it to AC mode. This thing currently will weld mild steel better in AC setup versus what it's supposed to be in. So then, what did I do? I was like, oh, it's almost acting like it has a bad ground. So I took this apart. There's a set screw in there. There's a crimped piece of copper. That was all a little loose. I could move it. And I was like, maybe it's just a bad ground. So I redid that end, and this end down here, I got a couple turns on it. I was like, okay, hopefully it's a bad ground. Still cannot weld sheet metal. So then I was like, well, what happens if we set it back up for aluminum. So I set it back up for aluminum, and right there, no filler, it did just fine. Right there, I just burned in our new tabs. You can see, I told y'all yesterday I was going in, but then I decided to go ahead and get this ready to go. So I just cut us 2 pieces of 2-inch wide, obviously drilled a hole. On this side, I just drilled a hole and nut inserted it, so the bolt was holding that right into place where we needed it, and I welded them on. As you can see, I did grind away the old tab, all that, and then where I had hammered all this in, I did a little hammer dolly work and just knocked it back out. I told y'all it wouldn't be a big deal. So, after proving I could weld aluminum with it just then, I swapped it back to DC. I swapped our leads back. It was just a welding machine. It still will not weld steel. I guess we got an aluminum dedicated machine. Bang, fell into place. Hey, look how much better that looks. We should have just done that from the get-go. If we would have done that, she wouldn't even need that crazy cover. That looked pretty slick wheelie there, boy. That's a slick wheelie.
This is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'd like to take that green machine and hit it with the Stone Cold Stunner 1 time. What? Hit it with the Stone Cold Stunner 2 times. What? Hit it with the...
Hit it with the spit that just come out of my mouth. What? Oh yes, she does look quite nice now, don't she? Yesterday before I went in too, I had that center hood piece on, and so you know, you can pick this up and sneak it out with that on. Just gotta take the upper radiator hose off, I think. Hot damn. Just a little tune-up on this to widen her hair. Just a scotch. Oh, I spit again. Well, I'm like a damn infant baby at feeding time over here. Slobber going everywhere. And with that reassembled, now, and only now, you want to check and verify that this corner or nothing's going to hit the hood and keep it from closing. Definitely not when you got the first one mocked up or tacked into place or anything like that. Good thing is she clears. It's hard for y'all to see, but I can see up there. She got plenty. Like old thick girl. Old country thick girl. She got plenty. So we are sat back together. This is actually all tightened in. I was able to get our drain plug in. If we can get it in, we'd obviously be able to fit a barb there. Cap is on. She's all tightened down. Did I think it was going to take into day 3 to get a shroud in that area looking how I like? No, I did not. But no regrets here, folks. I think it looks really good. I think this really cleaned up this area that I was disliking. I'm glad we cut those tabs off and redid them where that could drop down lower. It looks better than I thought it was gonna look. And with rounding this off the front, making sure to drop that so all this is filled in, when we paint this piece, it's gonna look really good here. And this is why sometimes you just gotta dive in and start building to figure it out as you go. We did that with the fan shroud and that little top cover piece. Now this was not my original plan, but me and Theo are gonna look at this together, and it is tight down here. Charge pipes, sway bar, which actually that sway bar don't even work. We need a wider sway bar, or we'll just be removing that one. Cross member, front of the frame is cut off, body, cross member there, stabilizes that. This right here, we've got a lot packed in here. Sheesh. This is ridiculous. Look at his legs, his back legs. Oh my gosh, that looked ridiculous, Theo. Woo! All right, you gotta get off me, dude. This has gone too far. You look like you're trying to... Never mind. All right, that's enough. So the only place I can figure out to put a bracket is when we have all this apart, and right now I'll let you know the juice ain't worth the squeeze. To pull these fenders and this front cone and all this stuff is a lot of work, and it's not worth it to do it right now for a mock-up. What we'll do is when we take all this apart, the front of this chassis, we'll end up boxing it in and closing it. Excuse me, buddy, excuse me. And then we'll get, with the plate on there, we'll probably have to like weld some nuts on the back side, and we'll bolt some flat strap, something thick, probably like 3/8 thick, where it hangs down. And looking at it, we should probably hug the nuts towards the inside of the frame as much as possible. So that's a good plan, and it's good to have so we're not flying blind, but it's not worth doing right now. Be much easier when all this is apart. I can tell from the video how uncontrolled that arc is.
That's ridiculous.
Told y'all, I know some of y'all thinking like, he's a dummy, he don't TIG weld enough, he don't know what he's doing. I walked in, Slick said, this thing's a piece of crap. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't up for debate. Hey, she'll throw down on some aluminum. It's still one hell of a machine on aluminum. Don't throw down a bead with that. You need me teach you how to weld, let me know, I'll hop in there. Welds just fine on aluminum, don't it?
Yeah, perfect.
Hey,
I
Lou?
don't understand why it's like this when it arcs on steel. It's like,
On steel, yeah.
It's like a cup arc.
It arcs wider than the damn cup.
Yeah.
It's like wow, 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 wow.
That's what, it just burns everything off. I can't even get it to.
That's a cleaning feature.
That's what I thought. Maybe I turned it off, or I turned everything off and it still did it. So,
No, there's no more settings we can mess with. Get the tow rope and the mud sighties. Well, not making a list. Well, actually I did make a list. There's other things like those gauges. But the more I look at it, the more I've locked in my mind on doing the two on the bottom of the dash. As far as the boost and EGT goes, I don't even know if I mentioned that. I think I did. But I don't want to put them up top. The holder's just going to end up too big. So I looked at things like, we just went and grabbed some lunch, but I also got some more welding wire, and I got us some batteries. Now that I got the batteries, I was doing some measuring, and I thought we may have to build something to want to put them on the passenger side, because we'll have a fuel tank on that side, so I'm trying to even us out. And we could build something up in here, plenty of room. But I also just got to looking, and really there's room underneath the cab off the frame rail, tucked underneath there. That'd be a little bit more of a pain to install or change or whatever. The point is, we've got a couple options, and pre-made battery trays are pretty stinking cheap opposed to building stuff from 1/4 inch. A little overkill. I'm still not fully locked in on where we're gonna final install everything. So as much as I was gonna like, oh, well, install the batteries, it's gonna be much easier to install them when this bed's off or the cab's off, one of the two. I was like, okay, I'll try and do something here, guys. I was like, I'll install the air tank. Well, then air tank's gonna end up going underneath here. And I found where it needs to go, and we could lay underneath there and try to hold it up and try to clamp it and try to mark it and then drill it and all that. But when this is down to a bare chassis, I've got to flip it anyhow to weld a couple things on the 5th wheel hitch. And then we could install that tank in probably 15 minutes. So I could fight it for an hour, hour and a half, or I can be patient and do it at the right time. And guarantee it'll take minute or half the time to install it when this is flipped versus trying to fight gravity. And so I've gone around this thing 3-4 times now looking for anything like, what do we need to do here? What do we need to do there? What do we need to do? Guys, mock-up's done. We are done with the mock-up. Obviously not ready to drive. But if you're doing a real deal build, getting to a mock-up point is huge. At this point, stuff is ready to come apart. Then we'll have some finish welding to do on a bunch of stuff and stripping down and removing bushings and crap like that to be able ready get this thing. I don't know if I'm speaking English at this point. I'll be honest, my brain ain't braining very well today. Get it ready for like some paint and blast work, all that. Then we'll actually go back together and do some brake lines and fuel lines and some mounting the rest of what we need. I guess we're ready to come apart. I was thinking earlier that we would wait, and then in one video next week, because I got stuff to do tomorrow, we would just go ahead and blow everything apart, try to weld up what needs and haul everything off. But I'm thinking the more I look at it, we may try to get a jump by pulling the bed. I was like, oh, we'll pull the bed, no problem. The more I look at it, maybe the more I'm overthinking it. But I don't think it's gonna be as simple as that. All you need to do is simply pull this bed off. The bed's 13 foot long, 102 inches wide, and weighs 40 tons. No big deal. Slow and steady on wiggling it out, because our fronts are still on skates, so the front end's a little unpredictable. And I still don't have a full game plan at this point. I just figure I ain't seen it outside in a minute. Oh, see, I could tell this front was getting close. That's why I stopped. A little too close for comfort there. I reckon we got her whooped now, though, till we get back here. Well, we got out of the shop and then hit a door. That's good. I heard the front kind of dunk, so I wanted to stop before those got into our fenders. Get underneath here where I fit real easy like. Oh, bottom of the fender up there is like 1.5 inches off the ground. If that hangs down, we may fix that. We could trim her up soon. What dumb YouTuber took the vehicle outside where the wind was blowing for the camera, huh? Those ones on the front are not fun, but we got them all. Perfect time to sacrifice our tied strap here. Oh, thank you for your service, but your service is not yet done. You have a very specific job. Shall you choose to accept it? Well, you have no option, actually. That ain't true. They could break again. That's an option. Our lift mechanism, the bottom side unbolts, the top side does not. She's El Permanente to the bed, Fred. What genius designed that? Bolts are undone, the latches are undone. Got that, so technically we should be able to pick up this front side and the lift mechanism will stay with that. I guess our bottom side could fall away. So for now, and for the sake of saving me trips in and out of here, we'll use the rest of our strap here and just tie it up to this one. And that'll hold or it won't. And back here, I built these hinges. We have not had these pins out in forever. I've picked this truck up and moved it around off the rear hitch. And this one's pert near pulling out by hand. I thought they may have been a little crusty in there. I think I did lube them up before I put them in. No, they're gonna come out. Oh yeah, we had a little surface rust starting to go on. Still tapped out quite nice. If you thought I was holding that drive backwards, joke's on you. There's a threaded hole down there I didn't want to bugger the threads up on. Aha! I'm gonna jack up our hitch. See, our hinges start to separate. This is the first time these have been separated since I built them that I can think of. There she goes. That's a professional pry tool right there. Sketcher and a booty bounce. We're separated, folks. I strategically keep these over here, knowing we're always getting to miscellaneous activities out here. Wedge them, drop it like it's hot, and we are free. And that wind's on my last nerve out there, but that's as far as I made it on thinking ahead. Now, how are we gonna actually get that up off there? Yeah. Carefully. Whoop, 20. I don't know exactly what all we're doing, but it makes sense to use the hitch back there if we can. This came with our tilt kit. This is supposed to be like a safety bar that you install. We got some length here. I wonder who thought to paint this white or powder coat, whatever it is. When I think of blue collar, other than maybe a white work truck, nothing should be white. We are not good at keeping anything white. Not the truck, not this safety device, not our underwear. Brown. Eventually, it all turns brown. Don't tell me speak for myself, I'm speaking for you too. You ain't fooling me there, brown britches. My britches ain't brown. That's why in middle school they called you the streak. You ain't fooling me. Oh, just ran out of wire. Luckily I did just buy some, but dang it. I guess compared to some of the welding machines around here, if the worst part that happens is I gotta just put some wire in it. That ain't too bad. Better pick my battles, huh? Simply swapping the wire. We're back in action. You know, I grabbed some scrap from over here from when they built the shop. I've got pieces of 3x3. And I thought about putting one on each corner. That may be smarter. I never claimed to be smart. Let's keep doing what I'm doing. Because if we go to pick it, that's gonna want to lean. So maybe we just put a big base on this. See, I've got a ton of this stuff. That'll do. Looks like a big base to me. I like big base and I cannot lie. Theo can't deny. 64. Little specialty tooling going on here, huh? Yeah. Real light duty stuff. We're gonna have to pick her up higher since we put the big old base. Ha-ha! Hey pal, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. Yeah. Butt crawl. Butt crawl. Oh, perfect height. The question is, how much can she hold? How much will she pick up? Is the back gonna stabilize and we pick up? Or is this so heavy, we're gonna start lifting the back? Oh, I see the front moving. I heard the back move some, but now the front's moving. Go, baby, go! Go! Oh, it's working. She is feeling a little sketchy. Shocker. Oh, it's working though. I probably should not be standing where I'm standing. But then again, I feel pretty safe. It's one heck of a shoulder workout. I believe we could clear the truck now to pull the chassis out from underneath it. If we get the outside stabilized where we can get this out. I don't want to run that out anymore. I'm getting nervous. Now we gotta get out. Dang, I see UV band. That looks like a pretty good exhaust wheel to me. Squirrel. We can't crawl out up top because we can't step on it. We don't want to get pinched, so we'll crawl out. Oh, she's floating, baby. She's floating. Get a little clampification for some stabilization in this wobbly situation. Let's keep this hillbilly party going. That one jack stand we used to pick up this whole thing is looking in really bad shape right now. She's got a curve. Now we're gonna see what you're made out of, 3/8 angle iron. It's got the weight. Theo says it'll work. I spread those barrels as wide as I could. We're gonna just try rolling the truck forward. That way I can get in and out of here, keeping that low, because I'm kind of flying blind. This is gonna be a lot of in and out because I'm gonna have to cut those wheels, but I actually need to come forward some, just a hair. Actually, we'd be doing pretty good to straighten up right there. Problem is, I'm not gonna be strong enough to spin that on this rough concrete. Yeah. How we doing? How we doing? Oh, we're doing. We want to keep moving that up, or if we pop off our ropes, you can't roll away on us, especially as we get ready to ramp the lip into the shop. And this one's gonna get questionable height wise as well. I'm gonna try move enough this time to get our front tires on this, because on this concrete it's really easy to turn it. All right. Oh, we're clearing. We straighten up. We're gonna be good. We got 3.5 miles on this side. We're fine. Oh, for the great Puddini's next magic trick, the floating bed. Woo! Ah! Yeah. Yes, we are free. Whew. That angle iron don't look happy. That's some hillbilly looking crap. But we are free. This baby looks sweet. I'm about to ditch them boxes off and run it. I ain't seen her without the flatbed in a minute. We are in. We are free. Gave us as much room as I could up here, so we can come in from that side and do something over there. Oh, she's leaking. That spell's pass, by the way. Never mind. I acted like I was gonna be able to take those out. I cannot. That'll work. Come on, Mr. No Depth Perception. All right, we gotta be wider than that. Oh. Trying to hit the gap between the angle iron. Oh, and the upper mount without pushing it off. And we just went off that drop behind us. But boy, I just threaded that needle. Whoa, wrong way, wrong way. Calm down. Easy dozer. Okay, I didn't think this part out. My plan was to just shove forward, get past that, and then set it down. But I don't know how I thought that angle iron was gonna magically move. May have hit my head too hard a minute ago. We just need that angle iron to fall. All that could fall over. So I'm gonna drop that down where that's starting to rub that angle iron. And I'm trying to ease forward here, hoping to find a sweet spot where that angle iron will fall. The angle iron, ingenious engineering behind the 55-gallon drums, is proving to be a far superior design than folks expected. This will also be a great test for the 2.5 inches of weld holding our rear stand on. Oh, don't break back there, baby. Well, I wish I had the camera on the outside for y'all to see. But it almost worked. Couldn't fall the whole way, could you? I got a trick for you, angle iron. It's called a back push. And that, my friends, is what a very easy and successful flatbed removal looks like. I can't wait till that thing's painted and nice, and then we got to install it problem free. I expect that to be really easy. Now we'll figure out something. We may have to make like some quick release things that pop into these hitches up here that kick legs out. I was out a 2-inch That's what I needed for the back. I used it all on the rear one. That's all I had. We get some more 2-inch, we can make some quick release legs for up here as well. Success! Got my mess picked up for now. I'm just gonna leave that there. Yeah, we'll figure out more. I've got some welding to do on it, so we may build legs and stay in the front of it, just do a bunch of overhead welding. We may get brave and try to flip it. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, Puddin', was that actually dangerous? Well, I'll just say that 55-gallon drum didn't lean over one bit. There is no chance of that falling. It was guaranteed to work from the start. Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap up right there. I'm glad we went ahead and did that. A little more of a challenge than I was expecting it to be. Taking the rest apart won't be near as challenging as that. The cab ain't the funnest thing, but we'll get her. I'm not sure how much of a video this made, because I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge. I know a lot of it was just getting this whipped up, guys, but we're in a good position now. We're ready to continue disassembly and hopefully start getting some stuff blasted and painted, all that kind of good stuff. I tried hollering at my guy. I know he's in the middle of building a shop, so he's no longer renting a shop, which is great for him. So I'm not sure if he's taking on work right now or if he's just hooked up on that. We'll have to see. I'll have to talk to him. That'll kind of help me get a game plan on moving forward from here as far as, well, scheduling and all that. So, guys, I'm worn out. I'm tired. I've been hitting this thing pretty hard for the last few weeks, and the results are speaking for themselves. And I don't know, I'm excited about it. Super cool. Super cool. All this is turning out better than I expected. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope someone got a good laugh out of it at some point. That's part of my prayers with my videos before they go out every Monday, that it just helps bring someone joy, or, you know, help someone escape the BS of the world for an hour or two, and, you know, get to watch me build something and have a good time. So I hope someone enjoyed, got that laugh. Much other than that, guys, I'm gonna try hollering at my buddy again, see what's going on there. I probably need to pick up a little bit if I can. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap her up. Thank y'all. puddins.fab.shop.com. We've got new stuff coming in, and I've got a reorder behind that coming. So I know there's kind of been this big break of none or stuff, so hopefully we'll get some stuff better turnaround. And yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon is a great way to watch ad-free and support us as well. We cannot thank y'all enough for all the support. I appreciate y'all being here, watching me build a dream build of mine. Means the world to me, means the world to the Theo Puppers. It's nap 30 for him. We will see y'all in the next one. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project.